This is Too Weird for the BBC, which is a kind of multimedia event. Art gallery, cafe, writing workshop. Okay, this painting is called Invasion. It's really about the invasion of the heart of a mother's love for her daughter and a daughter's love for her mother, kind of infinitely reflected. And it's got also the double meaning of the invasion by alien spacecraft which appear in the aprons and the wallpaper. That was the kind of wallpaper we'd have in our house when I was growing up. Yeah, my father was a graphic designer, but you know, strictly in kind of commercial art. You can be moved by something at an emotional level without necessarily understanding it intellectually.
If I could buy one, I'd buy this one.
I like the sky. We look for shapes that look like something else. This one is called The Art of Vanity, because people often talk about, you know, artistic pursuit as a vanity project. Also, it's obviously someone regarding themselves. I've got a weird obsession with the Queen. I tend more towards a sort of Republican. I react to the Queen. These are a whole series of paintings based on the old Ladybird books, specifically Peter and Jane. And the series is called Peter and Jane, The Lost Episodes. The BBC were making a documentary on the history of Ladybird books. Somewhere along the line they came across my work and decided that they would include it. And came to my studio and filmed me for about 5 hours. And then a couple of months later they got in touch and said, very sorry, but we're not going to include you in the documentary. And they wanted to keep the documentary kind of locked in the past and not look at how people are interpreting it in the present. Sometimes you think you've finished, and you go back and have a look, and you haven't finished at all. But you just have a feeling that you've achieved maybe not entirely what you set out to achieve, but you've achieved the best you can. This is a painting of my youngest son, Isaac. He's holding this skull on Kelston Round Hill, which is a favourite walking place. We're still essentially the same humans as we were 10,000, 100,000 years ago. It's pretty precarious existence sometimes. I'm happier doing this than the 9 till 5, that's for sure. These are what I learned to read with, so I guess that's kind of what embedded them deep into my subconscious. They always went for kind of photorealism, except it's more than just that. I think they're actually achieved quite quickly in watercolours. So even though there's an awful lot of detail, there's a kind of spontaneity about them as well, and it just chimes with the kind of work I do. I came across one in a second-hand bookshop in Hay-on-Wye. It just kind of opened up the floodgates, really, of childhood, and somehow opened up a whole series of surreal takes on it. A lot of the ways I've reinterpreted them are quite dark, I'd say. I seek out absurdities, the absurdities in life. I mean, not in a conscious way, but at a subconscious level. You know, that's the way my mind works, I'm afraid.